World MSME Day is celebrated annually on June 27th, and this was instated by the United Nations in the United Nations General Assembly. Now, this day seeks to raise awareness about the potential of MSMEs to contribute towards the sustainable development of the globe. In fact, in India also, MSME Day is celebrated on the very same day. To know more about the importance of MSMEs to the Indian economy and how can they make the most of the opportunities on hand, welcome to a special show ICICI Lombard General Insurance presents Celebrating India's MSMEs, partnered by ET Now, where I'm in conversation with the Chief of Technology and Health, Underwriting and Claims at ICICI Lombard General Insurance, Girish Nayak, on this very special show. Thank you, Girish, for joining me here. My first question to you, according to some statistics, there are over 63 million MSMEs spread across India, and they contribute nearly 40% to India's exports. They contribute about 6.11% to the country's GDP from the manufacturing sector and 24.63% to the GDP from the services sector. So, Girish, is this the best time to be an MSME in India?
Well, Sumit, I think it's the best time to be in India, and definitely the best time to be an MSME in India. As you know, the Indian economy is going to be one of the fastest growing large economies, at least projected for the next 3 years. In spite of all the global uncertainty that you see, the strength of domestic demand has kept our economy very resilient and has been a key catalyst for the growth. Look around you, the signs of this activity all around. I mean, you have the increasing GST collections, you have the increasing volumes of the e-way bills, you have the increased electronic toll. Everywhere around you see signs of how the domestic demand is really supporting the economy. And you see various other indicators, tractor sales, auto sales, your credit growth, everything is pointing to a significant momentum in the economy. All this is kind of underpinned by the entire digital public infrastructure that has been set up in the country in the last few years, and that's really powering a lot of growth at a grassroots level. A lot of government initiatives over the last few years, you can see that while they are at a larger corporate level, but how they impact the MSMEs as well, the Make in India, Digital India, Startup India, a lot of these initiatives. And while you might say a lot of the Make in India is for large enterprises, there's also a huge trickle down. Every time a large enterprise sets up in India, you have a lot of MSMEs getting up all around it, right? So there's a huge network effect that kind of plays out. And as we can see that over the last few years with the PLI scheme, there is a lot of companies setting up manufacturing facilities in India, attracting investments. We are promoting exports. All this is providing ample scope for MSMEs to kind of really grow and prosper. Startup India initiative, a lot of schemes, tax benefits, funding opportunity, the Mudra loan scheme. I mean, government has really been also very vocal about the fact that the MSMEs are the heart of the country's manufacturing infrastructure, and they are putting in all the necessary levers in place to help them grow and flourish.
That's so important what you mentioned, Girish, because yes, the government schemes are also of great help. Plus, what the last point that you made, about how technology, and we've also been discussing this on the channel, that it's no longer that they're local, they are now global. They could be from any small town in the interiors of India, but their products, their services are available around the globe, which is helping them so much. But Girish, moving on in our conversation, what are some of the key events or elements that you feel are helping MSMEs in India to go for growth?
I think first and foremost, like I said earlier, over the last few years, we can see that the whole digital public infrastructure that has come up. I mean, that's a significant, we don't realize how important it is, but that really forms the basis of, like you said, allowing MSMEs to expand their reach beyond what their local sphere of influence is. Also, in terms of ability to compete, right? One of the big challenges MSMEs had earlier versus larger corporates could spend so much on technology, which MSME could not afford to. Now with cloud computing available, the best and most modern technology resources are available to the MSME for as a pay-as-you-go model. So they don't have to make upfront investments in technology, and they can have the same technology, sometimes even better than large corporates can have. And that is a significant growth booster. You have a lot of e-commerce brand over the last 3-4 years, the spread of e-commerce platforms, which allow MSMEs to kind of, in a very effective and affordable way, reach a much larger customer base than what they could do earlier. And that has had a significant impact on the growth potential that MSMEs today have, leveraging both the digital public infrastructure as well as the e-commerce platforms. Along the period, we also seen government as well as corporates invest a lot in skill development for MSMEs, and this is at a very grassroots level. So that's also creating a skilled workforce for the MSMEs to absorb, and creating job opportunities for the youth of the country. Also, I mean, in terms of finance, like I spoke about, the Mudra loan scheme has made available a lot of financing options for MSMEs, which earlier was could have been a constraint in a way.
Absolutely. And, that's a very, I just want to add to one point that you made there, Girish, about upskilling. And exactly the part that you said about technology. Technology is also helping SMEs upskill so easily because it's available on the mobiles. People, the employees, even the management of MSMEs are able to access so much data, so much information online, which just helps them get better and better in every day. But I also know, Girish, that at ICICI Lombard General Insurance, the SME insurance business, I mean, SMEs are very important to the company as a whole. So how do you see the SME insurance business as part of the overall business of ICICI Lombard General Insurance?
No, definitely, SME is a very, very key component of our business, and we have been having a very, very sharp focus on this sector for many years now. I mean, we are one of the first private sector insurers to significantly focus on this segment. Earlier, the segment was largely served through the PSU insurers, primarily because none of the private insurers had a large distribution footprint across different smaller towns and villages in India, where the MSMEs are largely existing. And this was covered by the PSU insurers. So they had direct access, and they used to be able to service MSMEs. But when ICICI Lombard approached this problem of how do you reach MSMEs, we used a lot of technology options to make their whole insurance process very easy, fast, convenient. And that helped us gain a significant penetration into this market, and also help service this segment in a much better way than they were hitherto being serviced. So we take a pride in being a pioneer in MSME insurance, and that too technology-enabled MSME insurance. We have been celebrating International MSME Day and launching tailored solutions for MSMEs. Last year, on International MSME Day, we had a complete 360-degree Salam MSME campaign to celebrate the indomitable spirit of the micro, small, and medium enterprises and the entrepreneurs. And when we are doing this campaign, also last year we had collaborated with several SME chambers and associations to talk to them about our perspective and how insurance should form a critical part of risk management for MSMEs, because that's something that we do find as a gap in their risk management practices, and it's something that we kind of work with the SME chambers and associations to get this message across to them. And also, I mean, as a company, we have the whole range of product options available for MSMEs who need risk coverage, be it normal fire insurance or marine insurance, liability insurance, engineering insurance, even group medical insurance for their employees, and even newer products like cyber insurance, cyber security insurance. So we have the whole range of products. Not only that, we have been the first, and I think we are probably the only insurer to sell SME products online digitally through a website. So we have www.sme.icicilombard.com, which is our portal for SMEs, where a SME can, owner or the finance person from SME can come and buy insurance required to their requirements purely from our website. And this is very, very convenient for SMEs, because they don't have to go through, and we try to make the products as simple as possible, which kind of covers their need.
You spoke about some very unique offerings, like you spoke about cybersecurity risk cover. These are relatively new products. So in the larger scheme of things, how important do you feel risk management is today? And why do you think it is something that MSMEs need to focus on?
See, risk management for any corporate is a very essential part of their strategy. What we do find is a lot of MSMEs do not have that very strong focus on risk management. So we work with them. We have a lot of risk management practices which we use with our large corporate clients. We are able to bring the same thing down to MSMEs and help them with setting up their own risk management practices. Because risk management from an MSME perspective versus a large corporate perspective is slightly different, right? You have various types of risk you can face. You have financial risk, you have your market risk, you have operational risk. When a large corporate faces a risk event, say a financial downturn, the financial buffer available or the cushion available to a large corporate is far better than with a MSME. Similarly, a catastrophic event like a flood or a cyclone, large corporate will also face damage. A small corporate also, small MSME will also face a damage. But the ability of the large corporate to manage after that damage is far better, because they have a lot more working capital lines, a lot more facilities, and a larger diverse business. But MSMEs often their only source of income gets disrupted completely by these kind of events. So the risk management needs to be far better and far tighter at the MSME level. Plus, maybe position our solutions also. In fact, I talked about product issuance technologically. We also help MSMEs by turning around claims much faster. So, for example, for typically MSME claims are smaller because size of operation is smaller. So for property and marine claims, which are less than 5 lakhs, we have a current this going on where we say that we will give an offer for settlement within 10 days of intimation of claim, and that's really helps the MSMEs. I mean, get back on their feet as fast as possible, because if your damage is within 5 lakhs. And I can give the claim disbursement within 10 days. So there's minimum downtime, minimum time lost, and the MSME can get back on their business very fast.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
For doing all this, we do have a lot of state-of-the-art AI/ML systems, big data analytics, which help us in faster decision making on processing the claims. But finally, all this has to be the front end of helping the customer recover faster, get back on their feet, and be able to do business much smoother.
Today's world, one, is really fast changing. Two, after the pandemic, things have just drastically changed. So what are some of the major risks faced by MSMEs today?
Like I said, financial risk is always a very key risk that MSMEs face. This could be related to their cash flow, their debt management, liquidity. And often it could be for fault of theirs, right? I mean, if their customers don't pay on time, they have a cash flow downstream that just flows back to the MSMEs. They are the first to get hit. Market risks, definitely change in customer preferences, market demand could be this. During the pandemic, we could see operational risks like supply chain disruptions were a significant risk, and there could be regulatory and compliance risks as well, because now with increasingly, see, one aspect of the digital public infrastructure and a very well-oiled GST and taxation system coming in is a lot of compliance requirements also, which get come in place. And again, with MSMEs, there's a risk that some of these nuances of compliance may not be met, and there could be a compliance risk. One major risk that is developing, and we see this quite regularly, is the cybersecurity risk, which, again, understanding of this risk and the extent of damage it can do, a risk event in this segment can do, is something that people do not really understand or appreciate. And as and when we are becoming more digital, we are using digital means to sell our product as well as manage our payments, cash and everything. It really becomes a significant risk, which was not there perhaps 5 years ago when MSMEs are not digital. If you're not connected, if you're not digital, you don't face a cybersecurity risk, right? So the flip side of being digital is that there is an increased cybersecurity risk, but of course there are ways and means to manage this risk and insure against it. So a whole spectrum of risks. But I think what is important, like I mentioned before, is to have the appropriate risk management practices in place so that you have the methods to mitigate the risk or manage it if a risk event occurs much better. And of course, insuring against the risks is important, and understanding what is the right amount of insurance that you need to have to manage this is also important. And it's not only risk at, say, the MSME level, it's also risk to the employees, right? So you have group medical insurance for the employees. That's important, right? You have workmen's compensation policies for employees, because very limited staff, they could have an accident, or there should be a way to kind of manage that. So, for example, a few months back, we had a case where in the MSME there was an accident on a construction site. 3 workers were injured. Luckily, because they were covered by our policy, we could take them to a hospital very quickly, where we could, and that did help saving their lives. And also for the 2 months that it took to recover, we could pay their salaries for them. Well, that's it's again from
very
the
important
SME employee point of view. But yes, because the MSME had taken a cover for that, then they are able to give a kind of cover for the employees for any risk events as well. So risks not only at the organization level, but managing risks for their employees as well to the extent that they can.
Girish, those are very interesting points that you raised. But you've already told us about many of the key initiatives and offerings of ICICI Lombard. But can you tell us some more, and especially anything that you're launching this World MSME Day?
This year for MSME Day, we've enrolled our women MSME agents for an exclusive tailor-made program on insurance and financial literacy. We found that it was a gap area, and we thought we should address it. And this is very much in line with the company's vision for creating a very inclusive and diverse, not only employee force, but also with our agents and other stakeholders as well. And furthermore, for this MSME Day, we're also launching a special product coinciding with the event that is called SME Suraksha Kavach, which is a kind of bundled umbrella product for SMEs, which has multiple offerings and covers all under one single policy, single window, so that they don't have to kind of piece together multiple solutions and try to address the various risks that they face. So we do try and come out with something which understands the pain areas of the MSME customers and try and address that specifically through tailored and custom generated product offerings.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Girish, for sharing all the great work that ICICI Lombard is doing, as well as throwing light on the larger MSME space in India on this very special episode. Thanks once again, Girish, and thank you to the viewers for having tuned in to watch this special episode of ICICI Lombard General Insurance Presents Celebrating India's MSMEs, partnered by ET Now. Thank you so much for watching.